Welcome, one and all, to this episode 3, season 3 of, and we're going to be reviewing the shit show that was the debate. Okay. Kenny, what was your opinion of the shit show?
Both of them full of shit.
Oh, yes. But I've got, I'm a Biden guy,
I'm sorry.
yeah. And he crashed, but you see, I understood it,
Tell me what you understood.
Okay, here's a man who's been studying facts all fucking week long. I mean, figuring out all these facts. Let's compare. See, I'm a computer guy. I got a whole shitload of computers. So I had computers back when they had a thing called an 888. That was the first microprocessor of the PC generation. They call it. It's called an 8088. Yeah, it was a 8-bit chip. Okay, and now they have fucking the one that's in my computer that sits on my desk now is a fucking Pentium 1300. It has 8 performance cores and 8 efficiency cores, so it has like 16 of these fucking microchips on them. So that's the difference in what Biden's brain is. He's got the 8088 in his brain.
he needs to upgrade.
Yeah, well, you can't upgrade. You got to play with the shit they gave you. But it wasn't. He just, and I do that too. I can remember some shit there, Kenny. I can remember, like I told you, I can remember my mother singing to me while Wolfman Jack was on the fucking radio broadcasting from Tijuana in the 1960s. Okay, 1950s.
You remember what song Mama was singing to you?
She wasn't singing. She was singing some song on the radio. It was probably Sam Cooke, "Darling, you send me," so something like that. So I'm vague on that scene because I was just bare, but I could remember Wolfman Jack's raspy ass voice. So yeah, yeah. So I could remember some shit like that, but I am not great at facts, figures, and stuff like that, and that's what Biden tried to do. Is memorize all these facts and figures. So, which probably if he would have been up against a normal opponent, he would have been. I'm talking about somebody who spewed out and maybe missed 1 or 2 facts. Okay. But not a fucking lie cannon. Every fucking thing came out of the guy's mouth was a fucking lie. So Joe Biden in his 8086 fucking brain trying to process that much shit, it overload. He just crashed right on fucking stage. Just fucking crashed. Oh fuck. Cause he's trying to look at this fucking guy and trying to figure out what to say to him. Well, see,
him staring at him like, man, give me a break, man. God.
Well, he can't because, see, that's the thing. It's a shitstorm. He came up with a shitstorm of bullshit. Now, see, I could go over all the fucking lies he took, but it would be a small list. I got 50 fucking lies right here in front of me. Okay?
So you wrote them down?
I went and researched them motherfuckers. Okay, I'm not coming here half-ass, baby. I'm coming here. He says, here's just a simple statement, and I'll put links to this shit. He said, we had the greatest economy in the history of our country. We never done so well, and everybody was amazed by it. That's a fucking lie. Okay, right now, Biden's probably has the best economy that we've had in the last 50 to 60 years, the lowest unemployment, right fucking now, okay? Says the only jobs he created was for illegal aliens and bounce back jobs. He said they all rebounds back from COVID. I said, that's a lie. Okay. He says a 10% universal tariff proposal is not going to drive up prices higher. You know, who do you think pays for a tariff? Do you know what a tariff is, Kenny?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the shit. Yeah. They make the other countries pissed.
No, bullshit. No, they make the people in their country pay. So, like, I'll give you an example. I used to live in Costa Rica for a little while, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. And they didn't call it a tariff, but that's what it was. So you go to the store that's like Costco. It's called Price Smart. And you go in there and you buy a laptop. Okay. Now, because they don't have an income tax, they put a tariff on there, 50%. So your $1,200 laptop that would cost you in the United States, now you get $600 extra on that, 50% tax. And you know who you think's paying that? The other country's not going to pay to bring their shit to your country. That's not the way shit works. The person who buys it in the store pays for it. Okay? So if I were to buy a laptop in Costa Rica that costs $1,200 in the United States, it's going to cost me $1,800 in Costa Rica because I'm paying that tariff. So he says that China would pay. China's not paying shit. All they're going to do is tack on that price to you.
On that tab we owe them, huh?
Well, yeah. Well, they loan you money, so you know all you're doing is giving them back the money that they loaned to you. So that was one of the fucking lies he put in there. He said 10% tariff is not going to cost you anything. Of course, it's going to cost you anything because he don't know how fucking tariffs work. You know, you're asking somebody now. You talk about 8086. He's not even in. You know, there used to be a fucking before PCs was made. There was a thing called a Trash 80, and Radio Shack made it, and that was worse than that. It was a 6502 or something like that.
Was that before the Texas Instrument?
Well, Texas Instrument was right in the middle of the two, so. Right in the middle was right beyond Trash 80, so it was a little bit better than Trash 80. Okay, so those were kit computers. You bought them from a Radio Shack and built a kit. See, but anyway, he said I gave the largest tax cut in history. No, he didn't. Okay, I was getting out of Afghanistan. Now this is lie number 6, but we were getting out with dignity and strength and power. Well, who had to supervise the fucking getting out of Afghanistan? It was Joe Biden. But Trump did all the cutting of the deal. Okay? So Joe Biden had to do the deal that Trump did. And so they blamed Joe Biden over it. How the fuck did he remember, what did I tell you? What about treaty? What's treaty? The highest law. So they went into agreement would be kind of like a treaty saying, okay, we're going to leave on this date and we're going to do X, Y, Z as long as you don't do N, you know, as long as you don't shoot up our soldiers and shit. Well, they still shot up some of our soldiers, but the fact of the matter is, it was under Trump's rule that was the rules he was working under. And he could have stopped. He could have said, well, we're going to stay. But then he would restarted the war. So anyway, the tax cuts spurred the greatest economy we've ever seen. Okay? That's another lie. We can cut taxes. We took in more revenue, and much less tax. How the fuck can you take in more revenue and less tax? Tell me how that works. How does the revenue comes in? Revenue comes to the government by what?
Taxes.
No, shit, Kenny. You know more than Donald Trump. Ain't that a bitch? Okay. So anyway, I'm just going to go a few more. We largely fixed COVID. No, he partially fixed COVID. There was still a whole shitload of people dying every day because I had a friend of mine, him and his wife died on the same day in the fucking hospital, and that was right towards the end of Donald Trump's fucking presidents. Throughout the entire world, we are no longer respected as a country. They didn't respect our leadership. They didn't respect the United States anymore. We were like a third world nation, okay? Well, do you think that the world nations respected Donald Trump? First of all, they couldn't trust him. So that's another lie. We allowed millions of people to come. He said he allowed millions of people to come here from prisons, jails, and mental institutions to come in our country and destroy our country. Okay, the xenophobic prick. But that didn't mean, that don't make it true because Trump said it. Okay, he's destroying Medicare because all these people are coming in and they get Medicare. Do you know some of the biggest people, immigrants are some of the biggest people that are paying into Social Security and not allowed to because they're illegal. If they're illegal immigrants, I'm not going to say illegal, they're undocumented immigrants, but they don't get the benefits of it, but you take the taxes. So if they're not getting anything in return, what's that? They're being taxed to be here and they're not getting any of the benefit. Okay, so he's saying they're going to take away Medicare. They're actually bolstering Medicare. Okay, So, and the Supreme Court just approved the adoption bill, and that's a lie. What they did was kick the can down the street. They said that these people who brought the court case to them didn't have standing, and they're willing to reconsider it later. Okay, and let me translate that from political speech into normal speech. We don't want the Republicans to get their ass kicked over this abortion issue, so we'll take it up after the election. But we're still going to cancel out the abortion bill. So they didn't want it to come up because, hey, it would hurt their party. Okay, so that's another lie he told. And the last lie, they're radical because they take the life of the child in the 8th month and the 9th month, and even after birth. After birth, if you look at a former governor of Virginia, he was willing to do this. He said, we'll put the baby aside. We'll determine what we do with the baby, meaning we'll kill the baby. You know what infanticide is, Kenny?
What?
Infanticide is killing of a baby. Once a baby is born, if you kill it, your fucking ass is going to jail for killing a baby. You can't have an abortion. They say late term. This is one of the fucking Republican lies that they come up with. Well, they killed the baby. They have late term abortions. Mostly they have, the first couple of trimesters of I don't know exactly what it is, but after you get towards the last trimester, you got to have a hell of a reason to terminate that pregnancy. Once the baby can survive out of the womb on its own, and that's like in the 28th week and the 30th weeks, you're not going to take the baby unless the baby is affecting the life of the mother. Okay, there's so many medical conditions that will cause that. One of them is like the placenta breaks inside of the woman's womb, and the placenta is the thing that's stabilizing the baby. So it's in there, and the baby's going to die anyway because he doesn't have the placenta. The amniotic fluid is no longer in there. So you have to take the baby out, get it born, have it born, or do something. Okay, they don't just kill babies. It's never been a medical procedure to do that. Okay, now if you watched an old room, what was it? There was an old movie about. Gosh, I can't remember the movie. It was It was a slave movie, and it was the master's wife was doing this slave, and the slave, the mother had a baby and it was black, so the the fucking doctor just cut the umbilical cord and let the baby bleed to death. That shit don't happen in real life, you know. So if it does, then the doctor's a killer, and he'll probably go to jail if somebody dimes up. But anyway, there's 50 other fucking lies on this paper, but I wanted to just go over a few. But those were just some of the lies. So, and they say that he opened up the border. There's some stuff about the economy, if you want to hear about that. But in my personal assessment, okay, where I stand today is that I saw Joe go to the next fucking, he went to North Carolina and gave a speech, and he was hot on it because he used a teleprompter that all those fuckers use. You know, Barack Obama did teleprompters. Donald Trump does teleprompters. They all use teleprompters, okay? And see, that shows me there's nothing wrong with his brain because he can read off a fucking teleprompter. So, you know, what it was is just overload, okay? And he may not be perfect. And what did I tell you a couple of last season? I told you Joe Biden could be brain dead and fucking Kamala Harris could sit next to him on stage with his hand up his ass, being a ventriloquist, and I would still vote for the motherfucker versus Trump. Okay, so that's where I stand. Hey, senility versus a guy that's a known criminal. And that's what I want to know. Did they even bring up the 34 counts of? Now, Biden said that he's a convicted felon, but did they even ask this prick about 34 felonies against him?
Biden, he bought it, but no, they didn't ask him.
No, they didn't ask. That should be. You know, you were a cop. You think they'd be right up there in the first part of your interview saying, yes, did you have any criminal record? Of course, they already know the answer when they ask it. So, but don't you think that would be important? That would be like the foundation of if you are a person that we could trust with secrets and shit like that.
This shit's crazy, bro. Hey, bro, if you had a question to ask either candidate, what would that question be?
List on your accomplishments. I'm just talking about them as presidents. What would be the most important thing to you, what you put as the highest priority? And I think Joe Biden would say the American people, and Trump would say staying out of jail. that would be the most important thing because, hey, this is his Hail Mary pass, brother. This motherfucker, if he don't get presidency, you know he knows he's going to jail. Okay? Everybody's stalling from him. Every crooked, corrupt his fucking Supreme Court that he's put in place, on Monday we're going to find out if he gets presidential immunity. But it doesn't matter anymore. You know why? Because these fuckers have dragged their feet for fucking 6 months to figure out if he can kill some motherfucker. He can kill another. He can do anything he wants as president. Now, I'm just going to ask some little elementary school shit to you, Kenny. If the people that came over here and established America and then had a revolution from the King of England, do you think they were looking to create another king? A king can't be prosecuted for shit. He could do anything he fucking feels like, but he can't be prosecuted. Do you think that the people who set up this nation wanted that?
I don't think so, because if they would have been did it.
Yeah, they would have did the king shit. They offered Washington a fucking king job. They said, hey, after he ran for president, he said, hey, why don't you hang on and be king? He said, no, I don't want to do that. Okay? I want to go to my plantation and make my money off of the slaves back. That's what he said, probably. Anyway, but the fact of the matter is that wasn't the foundation of this country. Now it's fucked up. I'll give you props on that, but I think through evolution of laws and mores and people's expectation, I think that they have evolved to say that they always say they're a country of laws, but that's not always true. But the fact of the matter is that that's what they say. Now, and they always say no man is above the law. So let's see if the Supreme Court will come up on Monday next week and say, hey, now this episode was taped on June 30th, 2024. So next week we'll know the answer to if these fucking corrupt ass Supreme Court justices have thrown out and said, hey, but they've already given him immunity because he can't be tried before the election in any of those cases right now. You got the lady in Florida that's slow rolling and coming up with every explanation in the book so that he doesn't have to go to court before the election is over. So and this to me shows me that that shows me the difference. See, I'm going to have to say that that Democrats are hard on the people that they hire. Okay, we fire more of our people than they will ever fire theirs. Okay, I was watching the debate. Okay, and as soon as the debate was over, they were calling for Biden to step down. They said, hey, I've had a whole bunch of people who are donors, and they say Biden should step down. He's had it. And then they went out there in the crowd where they called it the spin room. Everybody's got their supporters and stuff. And Gavin Newsom went to the mic, and he says, hey, the guy's had a bad fucking day. Haven't you had a bad day? And this my chief used to tell me that fucking thing. And his words haunt me because it's almost the same thing as what Gavin Newsom said. He said, hey, the guy had a bad debate. Everyone had a bad debate. Everyone has been there. Okay. He says, we've had a man that's done a lot of great things, and he's had our back. He's been working for the American people. So are we what kind of people are we that we just throw him away? He said, the decision is his to make, not ours, to see if he wants to stay in the race. But what my chief said, I was in a meeting with him one time, and people were talking about, somebody fucking up at a fire. And, he says, you ever made a mistake? And the guy said, yeah, I made a mistake, but this fucker did. He says, how would you like to be treated when you made your mistake? He said, because we all are human. We walk around these flesh suits. So sooner or later, we're going to make a mistake. He said, as long as it's not real critical and we kill some people, we'd like to be forgiven most of the time. Some things you can't forgive, Can't forgive having a pedophile as a firefighter. Can't forgive that shit. But, or a rapist or somebody that's robbing a bank or stealing from people, but you can't. But if they fuck up and they make a mistake and their heart was in the right place, do you turn your back on them or do you say, hey, give them another chance? So that's where we are today. Do we ask that question, that fundamental question? Fuck him and get somebody else. Now, in that 4 months that you have left for the election, you're going to have to get somebody vetted. He's going to have to go out there and prove to the American people that he's presidential material. Now, I love Kamala, and I think she could do the job, but, there's a certain degree of people out there that didn't want Hillary, who was probably the most qualified woman that's ever been in government, and they didn't want her. Now, you got Kamala, who's black. She's qualified. Do you think she could take the reins and win in the election? I mean, truthfully, Kitty?
I don't know. I don't think. What has she been doing, though? You know what I mean? What has she really been doing?
She's been doing a lot of stuff. You know, he's put her on a lot of, he gave her a lot of assignments. I don't have them with me, but she's done really good. And she went speaking the day after, and I think she's learning the job very well. So I think that, here's my theory on it. I said, keep Joe. And if something happens to Joe in the White House in 2-3 years, you got Kamala, and she can rise to the equation. You know, she may not be able to get elected unless something happens to Joe, and then they'll say, okay, she's proven herself. But without proving herself in that position, I don't think she has the capability, I know she has the capabilities, but I don't think she has the backing of enough people. Okay. Mm-hmm. So, and she's not as eloquent as Obama. Obama fucking go in the room, people fall in love with that fucker, you know? Shit. I mean, I didn't even think, when he first ran, I said, oh, ain't no black guy going to get to be president. But then when he won in the primary, I said, oh, fuck, yeah, okay. I'll vote for him, but I didn't think his chances are. But see, he had proven himself as a senator, and he was a senator in Illinois. So the guy, and he was extremely intelligent, and he's a people person, So there you go. So I don't know if Kamala can win in all those degrees, especially right now. I think the best thing for the Democratic Party is stay the course and and change the rules of the fucking election. I mean, debate the next time and say, okay, Why
you think they didn't have no audience? Why didn't they have audience?
Here's the thing, because Trump always play. He's a fucking actor. Okay, that's where he became popular, on The Apprentice. So he knows how to work. He's had 14 years of fucking training as being like an actor, what do they call it, reality star, just like you think about in your time on Storage Wars, you get new people that and they don't know how to, work the audience or be funny or stuff like that, and they're probably looking at other people, but then they get their mojo, like you are, Kenny. You got the mojo going in there. You're funny all the time. So, but these other people, if they're coming in and they're just new people there, they don't have it. So, but here's 14 years of this guy playing to the cameras, and knowing to get his lines right, and so, and plus he doesn't have to memorize anything, because all he's going to do is pull out the cannon of lies, right? You don't have to memorize shit. He just makes the shit up in his head. You're the worst president that ever was. You're this, you're that. Oh, you and your son stole money, and you were working with Burisma and all this stuff. What about your son's laptop? Or shit like that. All kinds of shit. And if he says I'm the president that got $35 insulin. I'm the one that negotiated Medicare. And it's all lies. But he doesn't have to remember shit. All he has to do is remember the lie. Whatever comes in his fucking head, he gets to sell it. So
if there was vote tomorrow for president, who you think will win? Now,
it'd be close, but I don't know. I think I was listening to some people on the street afterward, and they some of the people, and even I live in Arizona, but they had some people from Arizona, and they said, well, maybe they should change. He said, but I know that I'm not going to vote for Trump. He's a fucking liar. He lies. He lies. He said, and you can't believe anything he says. But fuck that. He's a criminal. Fuck, a criminal can't, they won't let you, fuck, if you, my medical license in the state of Arizona would be revoked for my job if I was a fucking criminal, if I had a felony against me. So why would I hire somebody to be have the most important job in the free world as a criminal, convicted by his peers? Why would I do that? I mean, I just couldn't. I don't think I could do that. So that to me is one of the things that I'm saying, that I would think that some of these people would come up with and say, no, I won't vote for him. So I would say it would be close, of course, but I still think Biden could pull it off. I have to believe that, Yeah, and if he doesn't, I've got a passport. So there you go. I can get the fuck out of here. So anyway,
where you gonna go?
I got a fucking bunch of countries I'm looking at. So, but yeah, and it ain't about me. But hey, it's already hard enough to be a black man in America. To be a black man in Trump's America, that's a bridge too far for me. I've already done that. Now, hey, I want to break it up. I want to talk about we beat the shit out of the debate. If you got some input you want to put on, go ahead, say what you got to say before I move on to the next topic.
Fucking both, bro. Yeah, all full of shit to me. I think we should just set the system and start all over, bro.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, my friend. We can only, what do they say? You got. When you're playing poker, you got to play the hand you dealt, right?
I ain't get dealt nothing. They just forced me.
You had an opportunity to vote. Everybody,
I voted, but ain't none of my people win.
Well, see, but that's the way it works in a democracy. So, hey, I think there's only been a few times that the person that I wanted won. Okay. I can tell you the truth. I don't think a lot of time, because I remember when Hillary was running, and I voted for Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, I voted for Bernie too.
Yeah, and when Barack Obama was running, I voted for John Edwards. So, I didn't vote for Barack Obama in the primaries, but I voted for him when he got to be on the presidential ballot, because I know the other fucker, John McCain wasn't bad, but I know he was a Republican, So there you go. But here's the thing I want to ask you, Kenny. Do you think now, and I know this is going to be out there in the reaches of insanity, but do you think Trump is like a hate virus? Have you noticed that the people around him just hate people? I mean, that's their thing. That's their coordinate. That's the thing that draws them together. They all hate somebody, Do you think that they're like, that hate can be spread like a disease? Because give you a little statistical thing, and I'm going to try to put the statistics in the podcast, but they say that every fucking time that he goes to a city or something and has a rally, hate crimes go up. Now, I'm not saying that he's a disease carrier, but I think hate is like a disease of the mind. I can hate people. There's a lot of people I hate, but I don't. When I hate them, I don't want to be around their ass. These fuckers hate them, and they want to make their life miserable. Why do I want to make my enemy's life miserable? I don't give a fuck about them. See, you're giving them power over yourself. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's That to me, what do you think about that? Tell me your thoughts there, Kenny.
Well, I know me and my temper. If I see hate coming toward me, I'm slapping the shit out of them. I don't care.
Well,
I ain't got time for that shit. And if I don't do nothing about it, then the next person they do it to is gonna get worse. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So I'm gonna give them something to think about.
Yeah. Well,
And I ain't got no hate bone in my body, but I'm just tired of seeing people being bullied, bro.
yeah.
I'm so tired of that shit, dude.
Yeah. Well, see, and that's the thing. Some of these people, they don't have anything in their life, Some people, and it's kind of pathetic, but some people are failures in their own mind, see?
Mm-hmm.
They don't find the joy of living. Like me, I get up in the morning, I see the sunrise, and it's a gift, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I see every day, every sunrise, that's a fresh start, okay? And whatever the things in my life, I know that my life could be worse. Okay. I could be in prison. I could be suffering I could be sitting in a wheelchair. I could be, my legs wouldn't work or there's all things worse. Okay. There's a perspective there. But some of these fuckers, they always looking at the other person. Why does that person have this and I don't? Why does this person do this? Why do you have, and you're always in this spite and jealousy of someone else, So,
Bad.
and I'm trying to figure out why do you put so much effort into that? Why do you put so much effort in your hate? I don't understand why that's a fucking, that's a thing in your mind, but it's irrational. Okay. So that's what I'm talking about. So, but I'm thinking that these people that's their jail. That's what hold them up. They were they'll sit up there and they'll tell you shit that Trump did this for me. He's scarred. He's like Jesus on the cross. What blasphemy is that? Do you think Trump and Jesus have anything in common except they were men?
Nope.
And these people are saying this, that God chose him to save America. Now, what kind of shit is that? I'm never going to say God chose Joe Biden. He's the second coming of Christ. I'm never going to say that. He's a man. He's got a lot of experience. He tries to do good for America, but he ain't Christ,
Mm-hmm.
But what kind of fucking mind do you have that you think some man who's probably the most immoral person I've ever known, just like Biden said, you have the morals of an alley cat. Fuck. And and knows there's nothing that there's nothing he won't lie. He doesn't give a shit about the people around him, and people love him,
Mm-hmm.
And, and I just think, Kenny, that we need to shut that shit down. We need to tell people, go off with your bullshit. When somebody tells you something like that, when somebody starts telling you some shit about Trump, said, I'm not in your cult. Go find somebody in your cult, and you guys can get together and blow that smoke up people's ass, But I'm not in that cult. See, and what do you think? Why do you think they would have a debate and tell them not to fact check, not to say, "Oh, you're full of shit, man"?
That's crazy, man. All that shit is bullshit, bro. All this shit is all bullshit. My question I would have asked them.
Go ahead.
Why would you let a foreign country buy land in your country where you can't even buy land in their country?
There you go. See? There's the stupidness. What did they say about the businessman? He'll sell you the rope to hang him. So,
Yeah.
But
you got China, all this fucking land over here.
Yeah. Well,
You can't buy one piece of fucking land over there.
oh, no, most countries you can. I'm looking at countries. There's like probably about 5 or 6 countries I know of where you can own property outright. Okay.
You can't even buy no property in the Philippines without being married to one of them.
Yeah. Well, don't they have like a rule like they have in Thailand? Because Thailand have they have a thing where you can't own land; you can only lease it. And see, by that way, it goes back to a Thailand person. Somebody still owns that property. The person who built it still owns it. You're just paying the rent up front. So you get it for 30 years, and then another 30 years later, you can get another lease. But then you have to negotiate that. So you're not going to pay this. You think that after that person has hold on to that fucking seeing your villa for 30 years, seeing you having all these parties and stuff, they're going to negotiate you on pennies of the dollar? No. They say you own the land and you can negotiate the price of the land. See, negotiate leasing the land, but you own the property. Well, you can't move you can't move the structure. But anyway, but if you own in a condo and you buy into the condo, you own that. They call that freehold. You see, I've done my homework there. So that means that you can own that condo because it's not land. You're owning the cubicle in it. Okay.
But over here, they're letting the motherfuckers buy up all the
fuck. Yeah, the Arabs bought all kinds of horse land in Arizona, and they got water rights to they got the water rights on the land.
They're stealing all the farmers' waters over there.
Mm-hmm.
That shit don't make
what kind of stupid shit? But hey, because they want to be capitalists. Oh well, everything's for sale over here. So what the fuck? No other country is stupid like that. I mean, there are a few countries that do that. Well, I've talked like Ecuador. I think you can own property. Costa Rica. I think you can own property. All those. I think those. There's a few of them that I can think of. I think you can own property in Italy, and some other countries, but there's only a handful of them. Most of those countries know that because their people are so poor. If they allowed that to happen, all you would have was people would invade your land based on, just with monetary means. They wouldn't have to fire a shot. They just come over here and take your shit by buying up the property. So all your people would be in poverty, Yeah. So anyway, but that's what I'm saying. That that would be a good question there, Kenny. And I think that might be something they should have like an amendment to the Constitution saying that foreigners can't own land. Well, they can own a house. They can own one house. We can let them own one house, but they can't own like thousands of acres. Like China owns the biggest pig farm in the United States. What the fuck? So they own all the fucking pigs here. Why would you do that? What stupid fuck would do something like that? So why would you do something that stupid? So anyway, but that's what they do. Now, I was going back to another topic. We got a couple of more minutes here. And this is one of Trump's things. He said, do you think undocumented immigrants make communities safer or less safer? You go, Kenny.
Say that one more time.
Do you think that undocumented immigrants make communities safer or less safer?
Well, my thing is with that shit, why they don't put the immigrants through the shit they put us through in order to be citizens here? You know what I mean? Like they just let them all come in without checking if they got a disease, a record, and all that shit, and then they giving them fucking money. What about all these?
Yeah, I don't know about them giving them money. The people
giving them vouchers.
Okay, and those are people who they're called asylum seekers, Kenny. Not every person that come over the border don't get vouchers and stuff like that. It's international law, and it's United States is signatory to the international law. And what it says if somebody comes in here seeking asylum, okay, say like you're from Honduras and they're killing people on the streets. Gangs are killing people, and they've killed the family members of yours, and you can come to the United States and claim political asylum, okay? And that's everywhere, almost all the countries in the world. Now, you think we got it bad. You know that Germany, after the war, was in their constitution is that they had to take in people from all over the world as like a penalty to them. And they took in almost a million Arabs in the last 10 years, you know? And they're hot under the collar about it. Now, most of the people that come across the border are not from Mexico. Maybe they're from Central America. Maybe they're from, there's people from, there's 500,000 Europeans here illegal. Do you think they looking for them motherfuckers? And they're living here, working here. And because they have white skin, they're not, nobody's going after them.
That shit crazy.
Yeah, so, but if people from other countries, one of the things is that the timeline to get into the United States is so long. You hear about people waiting like 10 years to get into the United States. Now, let's say you're in a poor country. You're in, say, like Venezuela or someplace like that, and fucking having a famine and shit like that, political uproar, and the people are starving to death. So, you think you got 10 years to wait to go through the red tape of the United States to get citizenship?
No, that's why they jump and shit.
Well, that's why they come here illegal. And the vast majority of them are claiming political asylum. And if you don't have, they put your ass on a plane and send you back to your country. That's the way it works. And a lot of people don't want to delve down into that. But that's the way the people who are coming, most of them are making a claim for political asylum. Okay. Because they know they're not going to, and some of them are sneaking in here and working. That's true. Okay. But think about the money that those people are bringing in there. They're doing jobs that you're not going to do. They're paying into Social Security. They're paying into Medicare. And they keep their nose clean. They don't want to go back to the fucking country. So, if they get to be a criminal, what's the first thing they do if you commit a crime in the United States? They run you through the APHIS. They put your fucking fingerprints through. And if you're and if you came to this country and they don't have your fingerprints on file, now they fingerprint everybody. If you come here like as a traveler, they put your fucking fingerprints in there. And you know how most people get here? They don't sneak across the border. You know what they do? They come over here. They come over here on a visa, and they overstay their welcome, and they just stay here. The vast majority of people do that. Did you know that, Kenny?
Yeah.
That's how they come in. They kind of get on a plane. They say, "Hey, I'm coming here to go Disney World," and then they disappear in the woodwork. So you're worried about some poor motherfucker on the border who's half of them are political asylum seekers and the other guys are opportunists who's trying to get here to get a job. Why don't they go after the motherfucker that's hiring them? Why don't they say, oh, if you're an employer, this used to be the law. If the employer hired someone who was undocumented, his ass went to jail. But they don't do that anymore. They just let him get fat and happy off of the backs of these laborers. You know that a long time ago, like the meat packing industry was all unionized and everybody got a good wage. So the meat packers found out if they could get some undocumented workers here, they could pay them, 20% of the wage they were paying the union packers. So now the meat packing industry is majority of undocumented aliens. Okay. So, but do they, and if they get fussy, the meat packers get fussy, they call immigration on themselves and get rid of them and hire some more. Now, is that fair to them? So he said, make you work 14 hours a day until your hands are bleeding, and then they turn around and say, "Oh, you don't like that? Okay, we'll call immigration and get you." So this thing that Donald Trump is saying all the time, that they're bringing all these criminals over here, they're bringing them out of asylum. Any crazy motherfucker gets more attention than anybody. You see a motherfucker standing on the street corner talking to himself, I bet you he won't sit up there. He won't be standing there for months. Fucking police are going to be called, and they'll pick his ass up in a couple of hours. Especially if he's harassing the people on the street.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're talking about they're criminals and the people from asylums, they taking them out of jails, and why is it that the statistics don't say that aliens or undocumented immigrants are high crime? They're not, because they're most peaceful people, because all they want to do is go to work, stay off the radar, and get paid. That's it. That's all they want to do. They don't want to do any of that other shit. So anyway, I just wanted to see if you thought like Trump, that they all these people are fucking coming over here committing crimes and being insane, because that doesn't even make sense. Because if they were committing crimes and being insane, they would be deported all the time. I ever tell you the story about me getting almost killed one night on a fire truck? I was going to, there was a guy that was, we used to see him all the time. He was an undocumented guy, and we see him all the time. And one of the things he would do is just lay in the middle of the street in the middle of the night, like he was hit by a car. And then we call the fire department on him, and we go and pick his ass up. And he was drunk, but he just liked laying in the street, Don't know why. Yeah. And then when you picked him up, the motherfucker would spit all over you. We called him the spitter. Spit on people. So we put an oxygen mask on him so he couldn't spit. So anyway, that happened for a lot of times, and we didn't know what the fuck to do with him. We pick him up and take him up, and then get him on in a rescue to go to the hospital, thinking that he may have been hit, and he'd run off away. Okay, night after night, he'd do this shit over and over again. So in the final analysis, I went, we got some guy, some paramedic was with him, and we told him about it while we were driving. So, that's probably the spitter. So we were driving, and he says, okay, I can solve your problem. Now the spitter would go out to the clubs, and he had like these snakeskin boots on, brand new pair, freshly pressed Levi's, and one of those, the collars with the rhinestones and stuff in it. And, so he's laying in the street with all this shit on. So the guy says, well, hey, you know what the protocol, if so you suspect somebody of being hit by a car, well, you've got to remove all their clothes to see if you can if they have any injuries. Okay. And we used to just touch him, you know. He said, no, 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 no. We have to do it by the book. And the book said you got to cut off. So we cut off his snakeskin boots, cut off his nice Levi's, cut off his shirt with the boot scissors. And there he's standing there in his fucking underwear. So he gets up. You ever seen that movie, The Jerk, with Steve Martin in it?
Yeah.
Okay. And you see where and he walks away from his mansion holding a toilet seat and his pants around his ankles. Well, that's how that fucker looked when he walked away. And we didn't see him ever again. So, except one night we went to the club and he was doing the same thing. So, and I think he was in a fight or something. So, and he had like a swollen jaw or something. So I got out the truck and we gave him like a ice pack for it. And, you know, and he wanted to go to the hospital. Well, he only had like a jaw. Somebody punched him in the jaw and then said, well, you can drive to the hospital, you know? And, he got pissed off at that. So we were driving away and this motherfucker picked up a bunch of, 3/4 inch rocks and threw them at the windshield, blew out the windshield, hit me in the fucking head while the truck was driving away. Luckily, I wasn't knocked unconscious, but he hit me with such force on the other side of the truck, which is like, you know, it's like 16 feet wide. The other side, on the other side of the window was broken on the other side. That's how hard he hit me with the rocks. So I knew not to get out of the fire truck because if I would have got out, I would have made it to retirement because he would have been the whooping post. As soon as he threw the rocks, the security guards put him up. Anyway, long story short, I had to go to court, and one of the things was they put him in jail for probably about 6 months, and then the judge told him, said, well, when you get out of jail, says, we're going to send you back over the border to where you came from. And he says, if we come back and you get arrested again, we already got your fingerprints. I'm going to put you in jail for 3 more years. So you better not come here. So anyway, that was the story. So that proves to you that most people don't want to commit crimes because that's what happens to you. So as soon as he got out of jail, you know, he was deported back to Mexico because he was from Mexico. And then I never saw him again. So he never came back because he knew he would get back in trouble. Anyway, so that was that. And then, of course, you know, we're going to see on Monday if the Supreme Court is going to do that. What else you want to discuss there? Oh, remember I was telling you yesterday about the Project 2025, the thing that is going to take over if Trump gets to be president. I was looking in my research, and it says it's Agenda 47. And one of these things is one of Trump's ideas is that he's going to make freedom cities on federal land, you know, invest in flying cars, and introduce baby bonuses to encourage baby boomers to have babies. This is one of his ideas. I'm going to put this on the show notes. Implement trade protection policies. This is all part of his thing, but he's mostly now, this was his initial policy, but he's embraced the Project 2025. Anyway, that was the icing on the cake. So, and of course, we even made it to 1 hour there, Kenny, believe it or not. Huh?
What?
Yeah, fuck, yeah, see? So, and I've been, what have I been doing? Capitalizing on the conversation. So, yeah, but we went through a lot of shit there. We went through the debate, and I gave you my input. So, I got to ask you the question there. Who would you vote for if you absolutely had to vote for somebody today?
I think I don't think your boy Biden gonna be at the end. I got to see who they gonna put in, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he can make it, bro. That shit is too scary for me right now.
Okay. If you had two choices, which would you pick?
I had to go. I'm a Democrat, so I had to go Democrat.
Okay. But remember what I told you, what Black America, we vote for what? What do we vote for?
Democrat.
No, we vote for Democrats, but we vote for what? Damage control.
Mm-hmm.
We vote for the lesser of what, who's going to fuck us the least. Okay?
But you know, ones that we thought was not gonna fuck us, they've been fucking us.
Okay, well, who do you say that we thought wasn't going to fuck us? Let's tell me.
All of them.
Well, there's going to be some fucking in government, baby. You know what? Do you know what politicians mean? Well, you know what the word poly means, many, and ticks. That means blood-sucking motherfuckers. Yeah. So there are going to be some people that's going to fuck you. Yeah.
So tell me the last president that did good, right, for the black people.
I'd say who did the most for black people would be Lyndon Baines Johnson. Okay. He did.
How many years, bro?
That's a long time, but he did. You know.
I know.
But you know, and there's been some. Hey, even a stopwatch comes up and does something good. But what you have to do is put all of the equations into a hat. You got to understand what party is doing shit for you, who's working against you, and who's working for you. Give you an example. Okay. Biden wants to forgive student debt. Okay. Many black people who went to college have student debt, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And he went and said, okay, I'm going to dismiss these students. Who are the motherfuckers that's going to court to fight against you? Do you know who they are? Republican fucking attorney generals. Now, what skin off their ass is it that your loan gets forgiven? Why the fuck should that make a difference to you, to them?
But then they want to send money to another country where they go to college for free.
Oh, yeah. Almost all countries have college for free. You know why? Because that's an investment in people. We're the only fucking big country that don't have free medical care or medical care that's included in your taxes and shit.
I want to ask you, how much are they getting out of it? You know what I mean? They got to be getting something out of it for them to fucking want to contest every fucking thing, bro.
Because they're all about the money. The people who make it. Who do you think that debt is owed to? Businesses, and they get money off. These fucking poor fucks who went to college and paid for that fucking college loan 5 times. And those people invested it. They put it in portfolios and they sell that debt to people. Now, if you forgive it, that's their investment. Now, they've already been paid for it several times, but no, they want to squeeze every fucking drop out of you, you know? And what about the fucking HBCUs, the historically black colleges? Why are they always against funding those colleges? Who do you think is fucking against them? What do you think? What group do you think is against it?
Republican.
Okay. So who's fucking you, Kenny? Who's fucking you every time they get a chance? And they're the first motherfuckers who tell you that there ain't no racism. Okay, just like John Roberts came on the Supreme Court when he killed part of the Voting Rights Act that were protecting black people's vote, turns around and said, there ain't no racism anymore because we elected a black president. What the fuck does that mean? What fucking guy is so fucking stupid that he can't turn on a television and find some racism happen in the fucking country? I was reading a case, and I'm going to put it in the show notes, and I'm not going to give you specific names and shit, but I'm going to tell you that I was looking at this lynching of a black couple. And it said that that there was a husband and a wife. The wife was like 8 months pregnant, and they killed the husband. They lynched her, and the woman was screaming. So you know what the crowd did? They lynched her and cut out her baby and stepped on her head. And they were sitting there watching it with glee. Those are the motherfuckers that are out there. Those are the motherfuckers that hate because there's no reason to hate, but they hate. Okay? Those are the cult of Trump. See? And they don't want you to believe that there's such a thing as racism. They don't want to atone for their shit. They don't want to be responsible. They don't want their children to see the evil deep-seated. Do you think, you and me, Kenny, between me and you, okay, I'm asking you, do you think we could ever do some shit like that to another human being?
Hell no.
To another human being, I don't care if I hate your guts, that that you fucked me out of $100,000, would I ever kill your husband and kill you and cut the baby out of your womb and stomp on his head, huh? And make it a family event and have my children see that, huh? That is some perverse shit. Okay? And that to me, that's the epitome of the Trump party. Those people, they're just like that, And there'll be some, they're good people. Oh, fuck them. They're not good people. That's the remnants. Those people are the remnants of those same people that killed that black couple years ago and got away with it. Okay? And you know what I say? You condone that shit, they're going to own your shit. So they got away with it, and they hate that they can't get away with it anymore. That bloodlust, that fucking way that they are. So, that's what I think. See? I think that there is, those people are, they call themselves, they're trying to say they're the real Americans. No, there's what's wrong with America. They're the disease in America, the cancer that grows amongst us. Okay? Now, they'll disagree with me. Okay, put it in the notes. I don't give a fuck. But I want to tell you who you are. When you look in the mirror, that's what you are. Because you have elevated a criminal into the same as your Lord and Savior. You have allowed him to get away with every fucking thing, and you're just one step away from that fucking lynch mob. Those towns that would do something like that and then go about their life like it's normal. Okay? Because that's not fucking normal. That would fuck me up. And I've seen some horrible shit there, Kenny, in my life. But that would fuck me up so bad, and I would not want my child to be looking at some shit for me to do something like that to another human being, because they would never look at me the same way. They would always know of the fault and the curse that I carry on me. But anyway, I digress. Anyway, Kenny, that is my... what did they say? My final word on the matter. So I'm going to play us out.
The world is spinning out of control. A never-ending cycle of blood and soul. Families torn apart, children left alone, as they march to the battlefield with one heart and stone. Why are they killing everyone? Is it worth the damage done? Our tears fall like the rain as we watch them die in vain.
Bombs exploding, bullets flying all around us. There's no denying the horror of war. The price we pay for our leaders, greed, day after day. Why are they killing everyone? Is it worth the damage done? Our tears fall like the rain as we watch them die in vain.
Hey, Scalwag and Big Kenny out.
Oh.